microphone to where it should be.
I have a thing I want to do right off the top, just in case you feel the need to cut it off.
Okay.
You probably won't, but just in case. Just a thing I'm going to show you.
I'm fascinated. Please tell me.
Is it time?
Yeah, it's time. You can't
And
just
then,
say that and then have it not be time.
well, I didn't know if you were still setting up or whatever.
No, we're good.
So it's now been like 2 weeks since your birthday. But there were a couple of like really little things that for some reason were taking forever. I don't know if it's because where I ordered them from. But one of them arrived. Um,
Oh my god. Incredible. Thank you. It's one of the most beautiful things I've ever seen.
I honestly, I have to keep it turned face down because I can't look at it. It's just like
Yeah,
there's
honestly,
something
that's
so
so
ridiculous
valid.
about it.
That is delightful. Why would I want to clip that?
I don't know, just in case, politically related.
Oh, who gives a fuck?
Yeah. Well, that's why I said probably wouldn't, but just in case. Just in case.
Um,
But yeah, that arrived a couple days ago, I think it was.
that's incredible.
Yeah. Yeah.
We are not in the club going up on a Tuesday, but we are recording on a Tuesday.
Why would we be in a club?
You know the song?
No.
It's like, in the club going up on a Tuesday.
Never heard that in my life.
Oh, I don't know. I just thought of it now because this is not our normal recording day, but sometimes life is like that.
Okay. I continue to have a lap cat.
I love it. I absolutely love it for you.
She just curled up my lap. I don't understand.
Before we get into anything really, I would like to take a moment to kind of like channel my inner Henry Zabrowski and say some things about Dune.
Okay.
Because today, for the first time, I don't know when this was released because I haven't been paying that close attention, but anyone who's been watching / listening to the podcast for a little while knows that I am, at the very least, a Dune enjoyer. Not nearly as, balls deep as many are, but I'm looking forward to Dune Part 2. And they cast Austin Butler as Feyd-Rautha Harkonnen, which I was like, okay, cool. But I saw the poster of that's like, Austin Butler is Feyd-Rautha.
Yeah.
He's fucking bald and he doesn't have eyebrows. And here's the thing. One of the defining traits of that character is that he's kind of like the anti-Paul Atreides, so he's also supposed to be kind of inhumanly attractive.
Okay.
So I don't know why they would cast a hunk like that.
Yeah.
Who I think that that's definitely going down the right track. He's maybe not my type of man, but he is undeniably very attractive. And then do that, TM.
Is that how the character's written?
No.
Interesting.
Not
So it's
even close.
Huh.
So, yeah, I have thoughts and feelings about that, as I'm sure many, many people on the internet do.
I wonder if there's going to be some sort of logic that becomes apparent.
The thing is that Stellan Skarsgård as the Baron was already, bald. And they kind of made, the bald, no eyebrows, the thing of House Harkonnen, because they did it with Stellan Skarsgård, they did it with Dave Bautista, they did it with David Dastmalchian, all playing people from that sort of faction. And I understand the sort of thematic visual consistency that they're going for, but why if you're gonna do that, pick somebody who can pull it off.
Yeah, I'm having trouble picturing it. I kind of don't want to see it.
It's not a good look. And again, not necessarily my type of man, but
Yeah.
Austin Butler's a very, very attractive fella, and he's not pulling it off. And if
Not everyone can.
not everyone can, so maybe think about that first. So there are some Dune opinions. But also apparently, when everyone's favorite biological war criminal Timothée Chalamet. There's a scene. This mild Dune spoilers potentially, I guess, if you're planning on going into this blind, skip ahead a couple seconds. But during the like sandworm riding, apparently, like that's all practical effects in the scene they shot, and I'm really excited about that because practical effects are awesome, and we need to go back to using them more. Do I need to provide context for the Timothée Chalamet committed biological warfare?
Maybe.
He spread chlamydia around NYU.
I assumed it was something like that.
Yep, okay.
That's why I was like, I feel like I probably can guess what it is, but yeah, I figured it was something STI related.
Oops.
So, in class today, I mentioned that we were watching Attack on Titan.
Oh boy, how'd that go over?
Ooh, man, audible gasps from multiple students who were like,
okay.
Really? And a bunch of them looked so excited. And I had a student come up to me during the mid-class break to talk about various anime and manga series. And then somebody stayed after class for like 15 minutes just wanting to talk about Attack on Titan.
Honestly, mood.
He asked me my favorite character, and I hadn't really thought about it. And the first person that came to mind was Armin. And so I said that. I was like,
love of my life.
I was like, he's very logical and intelligent. Like that's something I like that perspective. And like audible disappointment in his voice. Oh
no!
His favorite is Aaron.
So we're both exactly on the same page, having just finished season 2. And we can talk about this because I think it's fun and who cares? Just 'cause, why not? One, I will not stand for any Armin slander whatsoever. I love my boy so much. Anyone who's like, oh, he's a weak character, like, I don't care. I don't care that it doesn't matter that he's not physically strong. He tries so hard. I love him so much. Man, it just keeps getting wilder and wilder, doesn't it? Massive spoilers for Attack on Titan in the ensuing conversation.
Well, the student I was talking to who judged my favorite character, which I chose in the moment, it's not even really my
fair.
Whatever. But he said that it gets so much worse.
Oh, I'm sure it does.
Yeah.
I am absolutely certain it does, and man, oh man, am I afraid.
Yeah, I told my students, I was like, I've taken to stopping in the middle of episodes now because they keep ending on cliffhangers, and then I can't stop myself from watching
the next one. God.
Yeah, so now I just stop them in the middle of an episode.
That's fun.
Yep, so I'm in the middle of episode 1 of season 3.
Cute. You know what Kyle said to me last night, and I can't wait to fully understand this. He said his favorite character is Reiner.
Maybe he knows something we don't?
Oh, he 100% knows something we don't. He knows
things we don't, but
this is a complete rewatch for him. But
I mean, like, some redeeming piece of information that we don't know.
Yeah, I'm sure. But how are we gonna get there?
I don't know. Again, I was told to get so much worse. I also mentioned to them that we had a WhatsApp chat.
A Weeb chat? Hell yeah.
And
represent.
One of the students, he was talking to me afterward, and he was like, "Oh, you said you had like a group chat?" I'm like, "Yeah, it's just called Weeb shit." And he thought that was hilarious.
It leaks out into the real world.
And I told one of my students who originally talked to me about Chainsaw Man. I was like, "Oh, I kept forgetting to tell you that I had finally read it and watched it." And she was like, "Oh, did you like it?" I'm like, "I'm borderline obsessed with it." And I told her all about the Power cosplay.
Wow.
And she really wants pictures of that and Over the Garden Wall. I told her we were doing those, and she was excited. So
I don't let anyone who is involved in any of my silly activities get away with 0 pictures, so you will have them.
So it was a big nerd day. I had no idea that mentioning anime would endear me so much to so many students, but
now you just have to make sure you do that every time you get a new batch.
Yeah, what I really love is yeah. I have the same class next semester, the intro class.
There you go.
So yeah, it's my way of bonding with them.
And
But
you'll
it
be
was,
worse by that point,
yeah,
so it'll be even better.
yeah, yeah. They really want me to finish like catching up on Attack on Titan because he's like, I don't want to spoil things. Like, I'll get there. It won't take long.
This there's such a struggle of being like I need you to understand. Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
Like it doesn't matter like regardless of the form of media.
yeah. Just like with the newer volumes of Chainsaw Man, I need you to. I gotta
I'll get
talk
there.
about
I
them.
will get there. I promise. I started
I don't
volume
know
3
anybody.
of the Black Edition of Death Note today.
I don't know anybody who's read those volumes, and I can't talk about it.
I will get there.
I know
I
Luna.
promise.
Luna says, "Man,
Luna, my love. So what? I'm curious now. What got you? What made you reevaluate your stance on Levi?
I mean, it's been gradually growing. It's gonna sound very probably unexpected, but his obsession with cleanliness, I enjoy. I identify with that.
It's kind of fun.
It's
I
like
feel like
watching
he
him in
was
his
like
like
the
little,
last person who
little
would they
maid
would like
outfit.
assign that character trait to, and they
Yeah,
did it.
yeah, like his little maid outfit.
Levi, my beloved.
Yeah, just little behaviors here and there where you realize that he actually like cares about other people and he's not just like a dick all the time.
I do love him, and maybe it's just because I think he's cute, even though again he's a cartoon character. But who cares? Um,
He does have a very silly shirt.
Whatever.
Although I really look forward to making one of those capes.
Oh
They
my
look
god, I know.
cozy.
See, like I am at the point of like if you like okay, who would you want to be?
Hanji is my beloved.
So, okay, we're going to have to fist fight over that.
I thought you were gonna be Mikasa.
But Hanji's my favorite.
Jeez. You were the one that told me I was supposed to be Hanji.
Yeah, cuz it would be really easy for you. And that's on me. But I had only, in my own personal defense, when I told you that, I had only ever watched season 1 and had vague, at best, memories of it. Did not anticipate the extent. Because I would, like, remembered her as a character, and I was like, oh yeah, I liked her. But then watching it again and, like, getting further, I'm like, oh no.
She is a delight. She makes me laugh out loud a lot.
I love her so much. Yeah, watch Attack on Titan if you haven't.
Yes. If you really just want to get depressed, because it's very upsetting.
I can't imagine things getting worse, but like I know they're going to.
Right? It's like, how can it possibly get any worse? Oh, we're gonna find out.
There's something to be said for any kind of show where like every single episode you're like, okay, like this has to be it. This like we've reached like peak insanity, and then every single episode you are wrong.
Yeah.
It's fun.
Yep.
Keeps life interesting.
Yeah. Yeah, when we're done recording, we can talk about some things.
Oh, yes.
Oh,
But
man.
let us dive into the things that I do have scheduled for us today.
Yep,
Mostly
yep.
things
That's
stolen
all
from the
open.
internet. Shocker.
Okay.
This one I kind of want to just... This is an Ask Reddit, and I think it's funny that it's marked NSFW because all it says... The only question is what's more impressive when it's done naked?
Yeah.
And I
See
don't really
that
know if I
potentially-
have an answer necessarily, so I think we should probably just discuss answers to this. Although I am going to say, if you can... This is a mistake that I made. I was not naked, but I was wearing, like, board shorts and a bikini top because it was summer and I came in from swimming to help cook. And we were, like, pan-frying pierogies, and it, like, the oil splattered. Wasn't good. Was not good.
Some
So,
good responses
if you
on here.
can successfully cook anything that has the potential to do that onto exposed skin that isn't just like your hands or arms, I'm impressed, because I tried and it didn't work. So now I'm gonna take a look at what the actual responses are. Yes, I'm over 18.
I think the not safe for work label comes from some of the replies.
Oh, probably. Sliding
'Cause
down a hot metal playground slide. That's just a death wish is what that is.
yeah, although, yeah, because I was gonna say it's not that much worse than like wearing shorts, but at least your butt is covered with shorts.
Yeah, yeah, no, that's bad. I like this. There was a guy on the local news that fought a cougar while naked because it attacked his dog. Honestly, nice. Props to that dude. Like, you know.
Yeah.
I,
Well, yeah, you gotta protect your dog.
and the thing is, I can see how, like, easily that would happen, especially if you kind of, like, live out in the middle of buck-ass nowhere. Like, you know, you get out of this, like, the dog barks while you're in the shower, and you're like, all right, Jesus. And then cougar.
I would punch a cougar if it came on my cats.
Oh, yeah, 100%.
Horse racing.
Welding? Jesus Christ. Yeah.
Like spacewalk, yeah, you can't. It's not impressive because you physically
you
can't
like
really do it.
that's if it's not possible. I mean, like theoretically, would it be impressive? Yeah, but that's not gonna happen, besties.
Beekeeping.
Oh God, yeah.
Oh,
Magic tricks. Yeah, you're so right.
yeah, but did you see the comment directly under it?
Like the reply to that comment or the
Yeah.
next comment?
The reply to it. That's yeah, like, and then there's a couple other replies below that, and
Yeah, I don't. Of all the things that I've said willingly on this podcast, I like don't want to read this.
I know. Nope, because it's just one of those things like
I just don't want to think about it.
that, and just something about the phrasing. People are gonna be like, "Well, what is it?"
it's. I mean, suffice it to say that it implies putting things into your body.
There's innuendo.
Much innuendo.
Your phone out of your pocket.
Taking your
Did you read the?
taking your phone out of your pocket.
Did you read all the replies? I can't. There's so many of them. How are there so many of them? I can't read any of these out. Oh my God.
Oh my God. You know what that just reminded me of? In one of the old Pokemon games, this is like one of those weird things they got away with because nobody was like, parents aren't the way that they are now. But there's like a route that you go down in the Pokemon games where it's like you're riding on the back of one of your Pokemon that can swim, so you get like, and you're running into all these people on these little islands or whatever. And one of the people that you run into who like battles you when you cross their path is this girl in a bikini, and her like dialogue prompt right before the battle initiates is just like, oh, where am I keeping my Pokemon? Haha, woman's secret. I'm like, girl, what? Anyway, that's what this is reminding me of.
I don't know about you, but I cannot read any of these out loud.
Yeah, no, I like.
But this will be linked if people want to go and find it and read.
This will be linked. It's not even
oh,
that I'm against being quote unquote that NSFW on the podcast, because frankly, every single episode of this podcast has an explicit flag because you and I swear constantly. I physically couldn't get through any of these without crying.
My favorite.
Oh God, these are so good, like bad but good.
I can try to read like one of them maybe, because the thing that's more impressive when done naked is taking your phone out of your pocket. And of course, my first thought is like, oh yeah, it's impossible because you don't have pockets. That's not where the replies went.
I mean,
a
shocker,
number
it's
of
the internet.
Yeah, a number of euphemisms for a body pocket, shall we say. And I can't. Whew, the old wizard sleeve. I just can't.
I didn't even see that one. Oh my god.
The old squish mitten.
Stop.
The old pudding hatch.
I fucking hate this.
Okay, I'm done. I can't do anymore. There's a
I
couple I can't say out loud.
Yeah, no, some of these are bad.
The first three in
Frying
particular.
bacon. Thing that's more
Okay.
impressive when done naked. Yes.
Yes, yes. Get me away from these. Attending a sexual harassment
I
center.
like this one that just says stripping. Yeah, I don't know how you would do it. Sometimes the internet is awful. Sometimes it's really, really funny.
Oh my God. Putting your hands in your pockets. Uh,
Maybe I should have looked at these before I put this on the document, but it's too late
well,
now. And
the
frankly, I
first
think this is
reply,
good content.
the first reply to that is great. Now I have to slice holes in the side of my thighs to put my hands in.
Ugh.
It's so dark. And then of course it goes sexual.
As always.
Okay,
I
okay.
like this comment that just says all of these read like Cards Against Humanity because they
Yeah.
absolutely do.
Looking in a full-length mirror and not crying.
Jesus Christ, bro. Dude, are you okay?
Yeah, what is happening in these people's lives?
Hope y'all are alright.
Did you see the one about playing Twister?
Yeah.
I just opening a pickle jar.
Okay. Walking through a cactus garden. Yeah.
Yeah, I was just reading that one. Okay. What isn't? Things that you're supposed to be naked to do, I guess.
Yeah, but I mean, if you're doing any kind of like. Anything that's already impressive, I think not wearing clothes probably makes it a little. I mean, it definitely makes it weirder, but it also kind of makes it more impressive.
Yeah, I feel like it highly depends on the thing. I'm trying to
I
think of
don't
like,
know. Yeah, maybe.
I feel like there's got to be an example of something that's just like, yeah, no, I'm not impressed by that. Maybe it's awkward, but like a lot of these are, it's like picking your kid up from school. That's not impressive. That's
Yeah, no,
just
that's just
uncomfortable.
creepy.
Yeah, like that's
Yeah.
not impressive. Or like joining a Zoom meeting. And it's like, no, that's you're gonna go to HR for that.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah,
That's not impressive.
I would agree.
That is against company policy, is what that is.
Mm-hmm. Well, this has been a fun dive into a Reddit comment thread. Always,
Ooh, yeah, I can't. Oh man.
always full of surprises.
And I think there's even more replies on that one
Oh, I'm
that can
sure,
be
but we don't have to. We don't have time to unpack all of that.
oh, I'm just saying that that's what I'm doing later.
Oh yeah, me and my horrible, immature,
Found
dirty,
it.
dirty sense of humor are going to enjoy that later.
Good stuff.
From the Bird app, I bring you another alignment chart made by Twitter user at Freya Erlings. I do you have do I need to provide context for this?
I have no idea what this means.
Okay. So which axis is the X again? Which is the X, which is the Y?
Horizontal is X.
Okay. So the
Is sort of
horizontal axis, on the left side, you have Bouba, and on the right side, you have Kiki. And there's this. I'll find like the actual source for this and link it because it's actually really interesting. It's this people around the world who spoke a bunch of different languages were given a picture of these two shapes. One of them was very like blobby and amorphous, like amoeba type looking
Okay.
thing,
Yeah.
and
No,
the
I know.
other was like picture like a cartoon explosion, like very like sharp and jagged and angular. And they were just asked, and they were given these two made up words, Bouba, Kiki, and they were like, which one is which? Assign a name. And for whatever reason, like no matter what language people spoke, they always named these two shapes. They assigned these two made up fake words to the same shape. Like just about every single time. They always said the sharp angular one was Kiki, and then the sort of amorphous blob was Bouba. Which I just think is very interesting and perhaps reveals something about maybe like the collective unconscious, if you like to think of things that way. I don't know.
I think it's just the nature of the sounds that are made because the k is like much harsher.
Yeah, so whatever that says, I think it's interesting either way. But then on the y-axis, going up you have creepy, and going down you have wet. And I just... What does one even plot on this chart?
Is there something to be aware of with the creepy wet axis? Is that referencing something that I'm not aware of?
No, I think that's just what they went with.
So dry things are creepy and wet things aren't?
I guess? I have
They're two ends of
absolutely
the
no
spectrum.
idea. I'm just trying to think of 4 things total. Like a thing for each quadrant. That's as far as we're going because I don't know. I know. Like what does one like that is what I put in the document. Discuss and then subpoint what does one even plot on this chart?
Like, this person made this. There has to be some sort of motivation. Right?
Well,
Unless
here, let me look in the...
I was sort of looking through the replies and I'm not really seeing anything. Maybe the whole point is to confuse people.
Very possible. Yeah. I just don't know.
Yeah, a lot of the replies seem to be focusing on, like, why are creepy and wet two ends of the same axis?
Yeah.
Because I think that's what makes it trickier, because I think the Bouba and Kiki one is, like, the way I interpret it, like, again, to me, Kiki makes sense as the sharp one because it's the k, like it's a hard sound,
Yeah.
versus whoa, which is like much softer, rounder kind of sound. So those naturally make sense. So
I also do just like that this person captions their own tweet with a proposal.
yeah,
So like they're admitting that this is perhaps not the final form.
yeah, yeah. But I would say along that axis, it's like soft versus hard, maybe?
Yeah.
Soft versus jagged, sharp. Creepy and wet, that's mm, mm.
I can't think of anything.
What if you're a being that exists in water, so that's good and safe? Anything dry is creepy, scary.
Maybe? I just kind
I'm
of
trying.
wanted to like talk about this. We don't actually have to come up with anything if we can't. I'm just kind of fascinated by it.
Yeah.
And I'm fascinated with the way that I can't think of anything. Like not a like maybe some sort of frog?
Yeah, I was gonna say it's like an amphibious creature.
But like that's it. That's all I got.
Yep. Yep.
So
Uh,
anyway, if y'all can think of anything, please do let us know. Tweet at us, comment on this video, email us at fightingwfriendspodcast@gmail.com. We would love to hear from you.
yeah, so maybe it's like this person likes frogs but not toads, and toads tend to be dry, so they're creepier to them. But
Very
then frogs are
possible.
often wet, so they're good. And then you can plot those on the Bouba and Kiki according to how like hmm, okay, that I lost the thread.
Actually, funny little synchronicity today. I was listening to an episode of Last Podcast, and apparently Marcus has a problem with toads but not frogs,
Yes.
which I just think is kind of interesting.
Yeah, that was very weird. Very
Yeah, they're
specific.
very similar shaped, so what's the deal?
Maybe he believed too much in that sort of old wives' tale that toads give you warts.
Possible. But we can move
Oh.
on to another screenshot. I found a screenshot of a Tumblr post on Reddit because, again, that's what the internet is these days. And this is just a fascinating question. This is a screenshot of a Tumblr poll. Which would you rather find living in your attic? 1,000 roaches or a person? And then the comment that is captured in the screenshot of this Tumblr post is, "This is truly, on God, the first would you rather that I've ever had to devote significant thought to. Neither of these answers feel good." With that now,
Yeah.
adding further context, discuss.
So here's the thing. The roaches wouldn't kill you,
The person most
whereas the
certainly
person
could.
could potentially. But there's also a possibility the person is a lovely human being just down on their luck.
Yeah.
And the roaches are just gross and they can invade everything. You can like open kitchen cabinets, roaches. I know it says in your attic, but they'll filter through your house.
Oh, I'm sure.
You know, you'd hear them scurrying up there on above your ceiling.
I would rather die. Did I ever
So,
tell you in my parents' house, sometimes in the summer especially, you can hear bats in the walls?
oh, fun.
Yeah.
I used to get squirrels in the crawl space above my apartment all the time.
Cute.
We finally fixed the roof, but I would just wake up every morning, hear them running.
Hmm. Yeah,
I
none of
feel
these answers feel good. I do agree with the original commenter there.
like a mean person.
I feel like there's so much more of a risk with it being a person.
I think I could take them as long as I knew they were there. Well, it says rather find living in your attic. So if I just come across this person, it's not like, would you rather find these roaches or have somebody jump up behind you and try to kill you? No, it's you find them. So you see them before they see you potentially.
Yeah, potentially. But what if you see each other at the same time and they attack
I
you?
am running away and calling 911. And that's that.
I don't know. Honestly, maybe I would rather find the roaches. Because then I'm just like, okay, I call an exterminator. Like the person, I feel like that potentially just so many things could like come from that. Like then suddenly you're involved in like a murder investigation. I don't need that in my life. Like that could be why someone's hiding out, you know?
But also, like, what are the odds that the person is a criminal versus somebody who was just like, it's winter and they were cold and they figured out they could get in your home?
Yeah.
Because there have been stories like that.
Oh, I'm sure. Oh, and I think this turned out to be a hoax, which is kind of sad because I wish it was true. But I did once see a headline, again, don't think it was actually true, about a woman who found someone living in her attic and then they just like became roommates. Not true, but man, what an
Yeah.
excellent sitcom.
Yeah. Man, what would that be called?
Yeah, I don't know. I'd have to think on that.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I feel like I'd go person. I really don't like roaches.
I mean, I don't like roaches either, but I feel like that's kind of what I'd have to go with. I don't think I would
Even
ever feel safe in my home again, knowing that like someone had been living there.
See, that's basically what I was about to say about the roaches. Like, even after the exterminator came and they were all dead, I would still be constantly convinced that I felt one on me.
Oh, interesting.
Because
Yeah.
I had fleas, a flea infestation like 5 years ago, which
Gross.
the cats never went outside. Best we can figure is that they came in on like my shoe or something
Hmm.
and multiplied like crazy, as fleas do. And for a very long time, I had to go through this whole process of like spraying the whole place, like the edge of every single room and all this stuff. And even when
Gross.
they were finally gone, I still kept thinking I felt them jumping on my legs all the time.
That is
I'm
nasty.
traumatized by it. Yeah, I'm traumatized. And I think that's a big part of the reason why I'm like, nope, 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 nope.
I mean, I can't say that I don't understand, but I mean, again, neither of these are good, but I think I would have to pick
Yeah.
the roaches. And this is just making me glad that I don't have an attic.
I mean, I do have a crawl space up there again.
Nope.
There there is I've never looked up there. There is access to it from my home. I don't
Creepy.
think I'm supposed to be up there. Yeah, I don't like it. I don't like remembering it's there.
Yeah, no. I have a basement, but
Yeah.
I can't really picture a person ever trying to live down there. That's just where the laundry is.
I feel like it would be worse to have somebody live in your attic than your basement. Something about them being above you and having the high ground.
Feels distinctly unsafe.
Yeah. Like
So
you
is
want
it
to figure out
worse
how to
to
do
find
this.
a body in your attic or your basement?
I feel like attic.
Yeah. And I don't know why. Maybe it's because I know, like, one, I'm sure there's plenty of examples of finding bodies in both attics and basements in many movies and TV shows. But when I immediately think of, like, finding a body in some, like, sequestered, like, storage area of a house, my mind immediately jumps to Hereditary, where they find the decapitated body of the grandmother in the attic. And also just attics in general, bad vibes, in my personal opinion. The attic at my parents' house has a bat infestation, or has had bats get in many a time over the years, which is why you can hear them in the walls sometimes. And yeah, just bad vibes from attics, I think.
But it's interesting that you think about like a movie because my first thought is like Fred and Rosemary West, where the British serial killer couple,
Oh yeah.
where they just basically just kept killing people and burying them in the basement, including some of their own kids. They killed some of their own kids. Horrific. But that's what I think about. Like their entire basement was just like bodies under concrete. They just ran out of places to put
I'm
them.
like, same fucking thing with John Wayne Gacy, so why does my mind go to a movie immediately?
Well, John Wayne Gacy was a crawl space.
It was still beneath him, though. Yeah, no, I mean, bad, horrible, rancid vibes all around.
Yeah. Yeah, I feel like it's a major trope to bury people in basements. Like a lot of TV shows will do that, where it's
And
like,
I feel
oh,
like that's
how
because,
recently? Yeah.
especially, there was a point where I feel like that would have been incredibly easy because your basement was literally just dirt under your house.
Hmm.
Like, that's what it was. If
But I
you
feel
had
like
one at all.
a lot of cop dramas are like they're standing in the basement. Does this concrete look freshly poured to you? Basements, garages,
Yeah. But yeah,
patios.
lots of freaky attics in film. Honestly,
Hmm.
the thing in Hereditary, all that shit in Hellraiser, that was in the fucking attic.
Hmm. I wonder if there's like something symbolic about it.
Maybe it's sort of like top of the pyramid type thing.
Hmm.
But also plenty of freaky shit in basements in movies. I haven't even watched this yet, but man oh man, do I know that some creepy shit goes down in a basement in Barbarian.
Hmm. I was thinking about Home Alone.
Yeah.
Very furnace. It's very scary.
Yeah, I mean, yeah. I agree. I just never had a basement that I was never freaked out by the basement at my parents' house when I was a kid.
Mm-hmm.
So, like, that one
You
wasn't
must not have had a
particularly
furnace.
relatable.
You must not have had a furnace like Kevin McAllister.
No, we didn't.
The scary gas ones that had to be relit. Nope,
Nope.
different times.
There was a statue at my great aunt and uncle's house that I was scared of.
Hmm.
It was like this, like, wrought iron bust of, like, just like some old man's head,
Okay.
which, like, I'm sure it was like, oh, like, you know, sculpting detail into a face, blah, 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 like that type of vibe of an art piece. But it scared the shit out of me. And I used to stand at the bottom of the stairs, like, because it was at the top of the stairs. And when we went to go visit, like, my sister and I, like, would stay in, like, one of the bedrooms upstairs. And what I would do is I would stand at the bottom of the stairs, like, staring up at this thing, like, psyching myself up to sprint up the stairs and immediately turn into the bedroom because it creeped me out so much.
Still remember that feeling of like I must get past this thing, or I must,
Yep,
like that
just like, don't look at it, don't
absolute
look at it, don't look
paralyzing
at
fear.
it.
Yeah, that's
I
fun.
feel like that's a universal experience.
Yeah,
Or of, like, when you
that
turn off the
fear.
light and sprint out of the room.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Or I'd usually turn off the light and then immediately pull the covers up because I didn't want to see that I was in darkness.
Yeah, whatever's there, I don't want to actually. This is a
Yep.
story from my sister. The first time I showed her the movie Hereditary for the first time, and you know that we've watched this together, that fucking scene near the end where she's just on the fucking ceiling.
Mm-hmm.
And my sister was like, was telling me the next morning, she was like, you know, I woke up in the middle of the night last night and I just, like, didn't open my eyes because I was like, you know, if Toni Collette's on my ceiling right now, I'd just prefer not to know about it. And I'm like, girl, you're so right.
Yeah. Yeah.
Also, another story
Yeah.
involving the movie Hereditary. I saw that in a theater with my friend, and I had picked them up to go see this. So after we finished watching the movie and I dropped them off, I had to, like, drive back by myself, and I didn't want to look in the rearview mirror
That's also
for
fair.
obvious reasons.
Yeah. In one of my classes last week, we were talking about how violence in media creates fear. And I was asking if they had examples of like things that scared them in the media so much as a kid that it like traumatized them and even still bothers them now. And one person brought up Hereditary, in fact. But
Yeah.
one of the girls brought up the movie Final Destination.
Oh, the log truck thing.
Yeah, that
I think
specific
that is
scene.
an experience that a lot of people have had.
Yeah, and then I was driving to campus today and I was behind one of those trucks.
Oops.
When I got to campus, I was like, so I thought of y'all on my drive into work.
Yikes. Creepy shit.
Here the things that like, why were you all watching these horror movies as kids? These are clearly not age appropriate.
Unfettered internet access.
Yeah, terrible, terrible. No, of course those are gonna mess you up.
I'm honestly, though, I'm trying to think if there's anything that really freaked me out as a kid and, like, changed the way I still think about things, and nothing is, like, springing to mind, but I do, like, I think that and we've definitely had this conversation before, I think we should scare children more. I think you should be watching a family film and then there's just some scene that gives small children nightmares forever.
That's like all kids' movies from the 90s.
Yeah, bring that back. Scare
We still haven't
children
watched Little
again.
Monsters.
TM.
When we watch Little Monsters, you'll see.
Yeah. Yeah,
That's the kind of thing.
freak
I'm
kids out
still scarred
again.
by that. I am a grown-ass woman. It was like 25 years ago, more than that actually now. I still, nope. I was talking about the movie The Witches in class last week. Nobody had seen it, but that movie scarred me horribly. It's a kids movie,
Yeah,
but
I
it's
think
witches.
that is a thing that we should bring back where there's just like some wholesome family film and then in the middle of it there is a scene of just Lynchian terror.
They turn children into rats.
Nice.
And just the effects are just scarred. Yeah, they used to do that a lot more.
Yeah, bring it back.
I think they moved away from that because they realized that it's kind of messed up.
Bring it back. I don't know what the fact that I want that brought back says about me as a person.
I mean,
Probably nothing good.
even something like Labyrinth, right, which is not terrifying or anything, it's still kind of like messed up,
Oh
especially when
yeah.
like the baby's crying and stuff, and she's like, "I just want my brother," and it's like, "Oh my God."
Yeah, there's and I see this especially like with like old, really old Disney movies in particular. Like Snow White is a fantastic example of this. Like the whole like forest thing. Like yeah, that definitely freaked out a lot of small children because at the time, like the rating system was practically non-existent. You saw like you just went to a movie. Period. Everyone did.
Mm-hmm.
Like whole family. It was for everyone. It was not just for kids.
Mm-hmm.
Which like whack.
Yeah. Yeah,
And I
no,
feel
no, there
I
are like
feel like that's why there are fewer like movies where it's like, yeah, here's a wholesome family film that also has something fucking traumatizing in it because of this just like breaking down of media into like further and further categories of like, oh, like first it was like cuz it was like, oh, this is a movie like for adults, this is a movie for kids. But now it's like this is for kids these ages and for kids these ages and it just gets more and more hyper specific, you know? I feel like that has something to do with it. Or
I
that
also
could
blame
have
social
something to do
media.
with it. I'm not an expert,
I blame social media because it makes the upset parents, it gives them a platform
which
that
is
they didn't used to
annoying as
have.
hell.
Yeah, and it's also like on social media, people have also dissected some of the kids' movies that used to be more like that. Like, oh my God, why would we show this to children? Like, this was in a kids' movie. And so I think that they're playing it safe for that reason.
Lame.
That's just, again, just a guess.
Again, and I'm saying this all as a person who doesn't like kids and is never having them. So, what stake do I have in the game? Absolutely none. Meow.
Yeah, I can name so many movies designed for children that traumatized me horrifically as a kid.
Incredible. I like
Yeah.
how when I said my thing about never having children, my four-legged son walked into the room, looked at me, meowed once, and then left.
He's like, you forgot about me?
I
Not
did.
cool.
I'm sorry, my son. I love you. Anyway. Oh, hello. Are you coming in here permanently? No? Okay, bye.
Psyching you out again.
Yeah. But I think that's gonna bring us to the weekly worsening.
Okay, okay.
And man, oh man, do I have things, TM.
Oh yeah?
Oh yeah.
Go
Let's
for it.
let's start with
Yeah.
my mouse pad finally arrived.
Oh, yeah, I haven't seen it. That's fun.
She's beautiful. And I also texted you about this, but I will now stand up so that the people can see them. Check out the Goody shorts. Boom.
I like the color combo.
Bright bright pink or black booty shorts with a bright pink ghost logo on the ass.
Oh yeah, I forget some people can't actually see it.
That's a them problem.
Right.
But
So ghost paraphernalia.
it just keeps and there are more things that I am waiting on.
Mmm.
It doesn't stop.
Nice.
And you know, we already talked about Attack on Titan. That's a fun way that both of us that we are collectively worse, and that will probably
Yeah.
continue for a red hot minute.
Yeah, no doubt.
So
We
what
got
have you done this week to make yourself more insufferable for others to be around?
it's not 100% done
Yeah.
because I gotta finish the hood lining and do the buttons and buttonholes.
Oh my god, I love it. I am obsessed. Who
Look
is
at it.
she?
It's beautiful. Yeah, so much work. It's got the little cuffs, and there was like a mistake in the pattern that I had to like figure out. But it's like, oop, I lost my hood. There it is.
Yeah. Oh, hello, son. You haven't jumped in my lap in a long time.
I
What's
made
going
a
on?
whole ass hooded sweater.
I am so proud of you. It looks amazing.
It's
Will
that's
you purr
wild.
into the microphone for me? Can you hear him?
I cannot hear him.
Okay, bye.
But like, look at the bands. I had to get the perfect, everything perfect, and this is one long band that goes all the way up and down and around the other side. But I'm gonna
Damn,
put
girl.
buttonholes.
Oh yeah, and I already sent you pictures of this. I finished the adding the fur to the jacket for Nihil,
Oh
which I'm really excited about.
yeah,
Fun
it kind
times
of
all
matches.
around. Have you attempted to put in the contacts yet?
I have not. Uh, just wicked busy.
Entirely fair. It's some scurry shit. Or at least it was for me.
Yeah, I mean, I tried the other day and it just wasn't happening. But
But I did it. And I
yeah,
am making myself continue to do it because I don't have time. I'm not gonna have time morning of for it to be like a 30-minute ordeal. I need to be
yeah.
able to just like and then do my you on the like you don't have to do makeup. I do. I have to do like a full face.
Well, I still haven't put the wig on. We'll see how that goes, and I still
I'm
got to do my teeth.
fun. I'm gonna say definitely test the wig out prior.
Yeah, the intent is because I'll have this finished up by like tomorrow, um, and so the intent is to give it all a full, put it together this weekend, make sure everything
Exciting.
goes as planned.
Oh, this is gonna be so much fun.
I'm so proud of myself. Look,
It looks awesome. I love it.
it's freaking. It was complicated, and there was a mistake in the pattern, and I had to figure stuff out. It was a whole thing.
Damn, who is she?
Yeah, but once I get my thing, you won't be able to see these seams. It's not quite done yet.
That'll be me. When I actually for real start working on the Terzo jacket and waistcoat, because God Almighty, that's a lot, TM. Although I don't know, maybe the waistcoat won't be that bad. We'll see.
Yeah, I've learned a lot in the process.
I love it.
How important it is to have the correct needle in your machine.
Oh,
I think
oh
that was a
my.
big part of my problem. I didn't bother to change the needle, and I was like, this is fine. It's not. I don't usually use knit fabrics like this. You have
Ah,
to have a completely different kind of needle for it.
huh.
Knit versus woven.
Well,
Yeah.
the more you know.
Hmm. Yep. Learned a lot. And now I get to attempt to put buttonholes.
Yeah, I've never done that either.
Yep. We're gonna see how it goes. I'm gonna do some test fabric first.
Oh boy, oh boy. Well, fingers crossed for you. Update us next episode. Yeah, I think that's gonna bring us out for the night. As always, thank you for fighting with us, friends. We appreciate each and every single one of you, and we'll be back again next week. Adios. This week's episode of the Fighting with Friends podcast was hosted by Bridget Kelly and Dr. Sarah Brookes. You can find other episodes of the podcast on YouTube, iTunes, Spotify, or your other favorite listening platform. Follow us on Twitter at BridgetKelly98 and at AndSarahSaid. Rate and review us on your podcatcher of choice. Like, comment, and subscribe to us on YouTube. Follow us on Twitch and Facebook, and join our Discord community using the links in the description. You can also help support us via the Acast supporter feature, or consider donating to our Patreon for early access to episodes and fun bonus content. Thanks for listening!